Hello movers! Today I've got a game review for you guys, but what's different about this game review is that it's off one of my accounts that I use to practice different openings. Reason for that is I have to block out my names, as you can see those nice black squares, but that's just because when I get to tournaments a little further in rating, not right now because my in-person rating is pretty garbage, but yeah, once I get a little bit higher in rating, people are going to be looking at my accounts to see what openings I play, what kind of mistakes I have more often. And yeah, that's not really going to be an issue for right now or, too soon in the future. But regardless, I wanted to start making accounts where I could practice these other openings. So yeah, this game I did play B6, which you guys are already familiar with me playing, so I'm not spoiling anything by doing that. But it was just a game that I was pretty proud of. It had 99.4% accuracy, as you can see. And then they said that my playing strength was 2850. So obviously I'm not that strong a player, but in this game they thought I was. So my opponent was 2100 rating, so pretty strong guy. And then, yeah, this game put me at 1990. I'm getting closer to 2000 on this account. And then, yeah, hopefully I could get past that soon on one of my accounts. But without further ado, let me jump into this game. So e4, you guys already know the system. We're going to play b6. They normally play d4 just to take control of the center when we don't. And we're just going to attack from the wing. We're going to play bishop to b7. And my opponent plays d5. And the reasoning behind d5 is that now you have two very strong central pawns that are connected. This pawn is supported by the queen and the pawn, and you're also blocking the bishop off from that nice diagonal that I spent a lot of time making, aka two moves. So what I wanted to do is attack this formation that he had, and I kind of want to tell him that he's overextended, and whether or not that's true is up for him to prove. So if you could see his timer in the corner, it's 9:53, so he must have seen this before, even though my opening is, not the most common. At this rating, you probably see a ton of different openings, and you already know how to react. But he defends it with a bishop, which isn't the best move. As you can see, they say it's good. I can't click on analysis to show you what the best move is because they're going to show my account name there. But anyway, it's a very good move. You defend the pawn. This knight now has nowhere to go. That's the idea of it. I press forward with e6 like normal, and I'm still trying to attack this structure. My opponent plays c4, and again, he's just getting good pawn central control, and he's kind of telling me, look, you could take this, but I'm still going to maintain this center, and then you won't have anything that you can do about it. And all this while, my knight is not able to develop to c6, and my bishop has no squares that it's covering. So I play c6. And again, this isn't the best move, but it's one of my favorites because it kind of forces my opponent to do something, right? Normally he's not going to still try and defend this a third time with like knight c3, and if he does, then I can play bishop to b4 anyway, and then if he kicks it, then all of a sudden, I'm able to cash in and grab a pawn. So here my opponent opted for the move e5 of the many that are available, and I played something that you need to know the theory to understand, but his pawn takes on d5, and pretty much what this does is, yes, I'm sacrificing a knight. No, I do not get this rook. He can defend still. I'm going to show you really quickly. Okay, so the idea here is I'm attacking the bishop, and I'm attacking this pawn here. So I grabbed two pawns from my knight so far, and hopefully a piece or another if he messes up, but more than likely he's just going to, undevelop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have either my bishop on g7, or I'm going to have my queen on f6, and I'm just going to have more development than him, and I'm going to have two pawns for the piece. And then I'll be able to play d5, and all of a sudden we go from opening where white had central control to now none of these pawns exist, and I'm about to have a nice, I wanted to draw squares, or highlight the pieces rather than draw these arrows. But I'm all of a sudden going to have a very nice pawn chain. And I'm essentially trading my piece for some pawns and great position and development. So that's the idea here, right? And when I have my queen or my bishop on this diagonal, he also can't really move this bishop too carelessly, because then he's going to be losing another pawn and potentially a rook. But anyway, enough explaining. Let me show you what happened in the game. So he takes, obviously, because he has one more turn to react to this threat. Because I'm not going to be taking this when he could just promote into a queen, right? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to react. So I took with the bishop, and my opponent made a mistake. And the reason as to why this is a mistake is because I can simultaneously defend this and maintain my 2 attacks. And then, you know, if he tries going back, now to defend, then he is going to be rudely met with bishop to c3 check, which will drop the queen after I put my rook on g8, which I did. And my opponent, unfortunately, did not see this. So he took the pawn on h7. He was just thinking, okay, my queen defends g2. My bishop is attacking the rook, which is protecting the bishop. So I need to move it out of the way, in which case I'll pick this up, and then this will also be protected. And this will be protected. So he didn't see this move. Excuse that arrow. Which is what I then played. And the game was very much over from here. So even though he has 2 pieces for the queen, and I mean I'll show the rest of the game because it's, yeah, one more move, he blunders the rook too. But even though he has 2 pieces for the queen, it's the fact that he has no more pawns in the center, and I'll be able to have this chain still, because this chain was going to be good enough for a piece anyway. So if we exchange this for one of the pieces that I'm down, then I really have just a queen for my knight, right? So that's not a bad trade at all. That is a very good trade, actually. But yeah, anyway, that was a quick little game I wanted to show y'all. A little trick that you can use. Now I would study up on this a little bit, because yeah, he could very easily just go here, and then I would learn how to play with the structure. Because if you just go into a game with that structure and then have no idea how to continue, then you might end up with some you know, struggles in the game. And if you accidentally let your opponent convert, you know, trade off some pieces, then you're going to find yourself in an endgame where those pawns just aren't actually doing anything for you. So the idea that you want in the game is to kind of get your rooks, you know, behind these pawns that you have in the center and try causing problems for your opponent. And you try to keep all the pieces on the board that you can, because the more that are traded off, the more the lack of a minor piece is going to hurt you. But anyway, that's all I got for you. A little 8-minute game review. Hope that was entertaining. Hope I can provide you all with some more videos soon. But until then, I will catch you later.